Hey guys, my name is Ben and I've been a full-time Amazon seller for close to 4 years now. And over the years, I've also helped coach hundreds of aspiring Amazon sellers to get started in this journey. And one of the most common questions I get from a lot of my students is, can I do this business part-time, even if I have a full-time job? And I know some of you out there, you're watching this, you're wondering the same question. So in today's video, it's going to take way more than 35 seconds because some of you know me as the 35 seconds guy. So first, I want to share with you what are the steps in this entire business. We're going to go broad and I'm going to share with you what is the time required in each of these steps. Are you ready? If you're ready, let's begin. So what is the first step in this entire Amazon business? The first step will be, in order to start, you need to find a good product to sell. Now, when we do product research, everything starts from Amazon. There's no need to go to other websites or to other platforms because all the data can be found on Amazon. All we need to do is understand how to read certain data, how to read the demand of products that are already proven to sell well on Amazon. And this process can take a couple of hours if you're experienced. And if you're new, some of you may be wondering, how long does finding a winning product really take? Well, the answer is, it really depends. When I got started in late 2016, it took me close to 1 week of consistent effort. And every day I spent about 2 to 3 hours on the Amazon platform, looking through products after products, trying to see which product could be my first product in order to shortlist my winning product. So it took me about 1 week, about 2 to 3 hours a day, about 10 hours. So that's the first step. It can take you a couple of hours all the way up to probably about 10 hours. So once you have found a good product to sell, what is the second step? And this is the second step. You need to find a way to improve the product. And this is where I see a lot of new sellers making this mistake. And they always try to sell a same product as their competitors. Now, if you're new to Amazon, please do not make this grave mistake because I did this early on when I started as well, and I paid dearly for my lesson. So what do I mean by this? So if you try to sell something that someone is already selling and someone is way more established, and let's say that competitor is selling the product for $25 and the person has 500 reviews. If you try to sell the exact same product for $25 with 0 reviews, guess who will sell better? Well, obviously, your competitor with way more reviews, right? So this is why most people who try to sell the exact same thing fail in this business. So in order for you to differentiate yourself, you need to find a way to improve your product. And now we're not talking about creating a brand new product or doing some kind of advanced R&D. All we are talking about here is how can we read the customer's feedback, find what are the things that they hate about the existing products, and how can we improve further upon them and come up with our own unique version of our product. So this is the second step. And in order to read feedback on Amazon, it's a process that only takes you a couple of hours at best. And once you have sufficiently identified what the market wants, then we move on to the third step, which is finding a good supplier. And now I know what some of you are thinking. Where do I find these suppliers? And the answer is, most suppliers are found in China. And this process is a little bit time consuming because you need to really sieve through hundreds of suppliers in order to find the best supplier to work with. So there's no real shortcut to this process. You just have to go to sites like Alibaba.com, start looking for suitable suppliers for your product. But the key thing here is we need to ask the supplier, can they manufacture our specific product? The product that has the improvement that our customer is looking for. The moment we find that supplier, then we can order a small quantity of product from our supplier. And the process of ordering from our supplier is a very simple process. It could take you only maybe half a day in order to negotiate with them. Once the payment has been made, then we move on to the fourth step, which is shipping your products. So the manufacturing process could take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. So when 2 to 4 weeks, your products are being made, there's little that you can do because it's a waiting game. But once your product is completed, then you arrange for shipment. So arranging for shipment is also a pretty straightforward process. And over here, it involves a third party called a freight forwarder. Now when we bring a freight forwarder in, their role is very simple. Their role is simply to go to our factory, take the product, and send it all the way to Amazon. And this process could take a week or even up to 4 weeks, depending on how you're shipping the product, whether is it by air or whether is it by sea. What happens when your product is being shipped from the supplier's warehouse all the way to Amazon? There's some prep work that you have to do, and that is, you need to prepare your photography. You also need to write your product description. And this is a process that we normally do not do because we leave it to experts to do it for us for a very small fee. And then, once our product reaches Amazon, we come to the fifth step, which is launching the product on Amazon. And this is where the money comes in, because if you do not do this step properly, your product will not sell by itself. Right? And I know some of you are thinking, whoa, I thought that the moment my product is at Amazon, Amazon does everything for me and it would sell by itself. Well, the answer is no, because this is a real business and any business requires this thing called marketing. So in step 5, what we do is we market our product for visibility on Amazon. And the key thing here is, if we have identified a good product, if we have found a way to improve our product, if we have found a good supplier, and if we have kept our costs low, then when we do our marketing, coupled with good photos, well-written product description, that's when customers will buy your product. And the best part is this: once you have successfully launched your product on Amazon, it will literally sell by itself because there's little you need to do. Amazon is the one that does almost everything for you, from the fulfillment, from the customer support, from the storage, from the payment, the warehousing, and even customer service. So I know what some of you are probably thinking, whoa, it sounds too easy. And the answer is of course, because this is the simplified version. Once you have done all the steps required, which could take you a couple of weeks or even up to 2 to 3 months, Amazon literally takes care of everything for you, and all you need is just 5 to 10 minutes of effort every single day to make sure that your business is running, customers are buying your product, and you are not out of stock. So now I'm going to share with you even more advanced tip since you stayed all the way towards the end of this video. And I'm going to share with you an advanced tip for doing product research, and that is watching Netflix. Now I know what some of you are thinking, how can I do product research when watching Netflix? So let me explain. So when I started doing this business about close to 4 years ago, I was watching this show in US, the TV series called How I Met Your Mother. And in this TV series, there was a very popular product. And if you watch this show, I'm sure you remember what is this product. A yellow color umbrella. And back then, I didn't really know what to sell, but when I saw this yellow umbrella in this TV series, I knew that it was going to be really popular. So I started selling umbrellas. And guess what? My sales of my umbrellas went through the roof. So fast forward to today. Now at the time of this video is December 2020. And guess what is the next most popular TV series on Netflix right now? If you have been watching this show called Queen's Gambit, you probably realize that this chess set is very popular today. And if you really understand market trend on Amazon, in Q4, in December and in November, the sales of chess sets on Amazon have gone through the roof. And there are even some sellers making millions of dollars a month selling very normal chess sets. So you can watch TV and Netflix and you spot an interesting product idea. That could be your next winning product. So next pro tip for how do you improve products? And I know a lot of people on YouTube, they share with you, oh, go and read the 5-star reviews, and also go and read the 1-star reviews, because 5 stars are what people enjoy and 1 star are all the things they hate. But I'm going to share with you what I personally do, and this is also something that I share with my students, and that is to read 3-star reviews. So why 3-star reviews? Think about it. These people who left you 3-star reviews, they kind of like the product, but they didn't like certain elements of it. But they would usually suggest to you what you could do in order for them to leave you a 5-star review. So a few weeks ago, when I was out at a Korean restaurant with my wife, it wasn't the nicest Korean restaurant we've been to, the music wasn't that fantastic, and the worst thing they did was, they didn't serve metal cutleries. They gave us plastic cutleries. And if you ever ate Korean food before, you know that Korean food wouldn't be Korean with plastic cutleries. So they gave us plastic cutleries. There wasn't enough side dishes as well. So while the food was decent, it wasn't the most fantastic. And I remember when I left, they asked me for a review, and when I reached home, I wrote them a 3-star review. And my review went something like this. The food was okay, it was decent, but it would be way better if there was free flow of side dishes, and the restaurant could give me metal cutleries. So these 3-star reviews, if you read your competitors' reviews, it gives you a lot of insights on how you can further improve for your own product. So that's a pro tip when you are improving your own product. So moving on to the third pro tip, and that is, how do you find a good supplier? So what most people will teach you is simply go to Alibaba, speak to a lot of suppliers and try to find the best supplier. And I'm going to share with you something that goes even before that. And that is, how do you pre-sell yourself even before you speak to a supplier? Now imagine two scenarios. A, this person who spoke to a supplier, and when the supplier checked out this person's profile on Alibaba, this person does not have a profile pic. This person did not fill up his profile properly, and he looks like a normal buyer. Versus buyer B. Buyer B has a professional looking photo, and the profile is well filled out. It looks like from a very big company, and in the annual purchasing volume, this person indicates that he buys 500,000 up to 5 million every single year on Alibaba. Now my question to you is, which person do you think the supplier will be more inclined to reply to? Buyer A or buyer B? And you guessed it, it will be buyer B. So here's a very important thing. While we as buyers want to work with the best suppliers, the suppliers also want to work with the best buyers. So we need to make sure that our profile as a buyer looks attractive so that we are able to attract the best suppliers and the best quotations. Now when we move on to pro tip for step 4, and that is shipping your products. And what most people do is, when they do the business, a lot of times they run out of stock, either because they sold too well or the product takes too long to be manufactured. And in order for you to never run out of stock, here's what I suggest. Always have certain quantities of your inventory stored somewhere in the third-party warehouse in US. Not in Amazon's warehouse, in the third-party warehouse in US. Because storage in the third-party warehouse is going to be way cheaper, and if you do run out of stock in your Amazon warehouse, you can always replenish from the US warehouse directly into Amazon with a much shorter lead time. And now moving on to pro tip for step number 5, and that is launching your product. And this is where most sellers make certain mistakes. The most critical mistake they make here is they try to go soft. They try to test the market to see how the market responds to their product. Well, I'm here to tell you, you should do the exact opposite. And that is, when you launch your product, you need to go aggressive. You need to aggressively advertise your product and get as many buyers as possible to see your product in the shortest possible time in order to get as much sales as possible. And if you get as many sales as possible within a short period of time, let's say a week or slightly over a week, Amazon will reward you with first page ranking so that you will get way more sales down the road. So in conclusion, can you sell on Amazon even if you are doing this on a part-time basis? And the short answer is yes, provided you put in the time and effort upfront to get it set up properly so that it runs almost on autopilot without your involvement. So if you enjoyed this video that was way longer than 35 seconds, please remember to smash the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please remember, leave us a comment. We want to hear from you and we want to address any questions or concerns that you may have. So with that, we come to the conclusion of today's video, and I'll see you in our next video.